City Council agenda meeting. I call this to order. We will have a pledge and an invocation, should he pleases, by Councilman Byrd.
All right, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
1 second. Can you hold on, please? In order to
Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna light them up, all right.
Thank you so much, Chair. To start this off correctly, I have a good friend, the Chief of Staff from Criminal Court Clerk here, Brad Tucker, and the Associate Pastor of Abbott's House to come up here and lead us in a prayer. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you. Everyone, please join with me in prayer. Our most heavenly Father, we thank you for everything that you do for us. We're so grateful, God, that you have given us this opportunity tonight to be here, Lord. For each of these men and women that serve you, they do so selfishly, Lord. I pray a special blessing over them and their families as they give their time and talents, Lord. And you instruct us to pray for our leaders. And that's what I'm here to do tonight, Lord. I pray that you will oversee this proceeding and let them have clear and decisiveness in every decision that they make tonight, Lord, so that you will be glorified and edified through everything that they do. Pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilman Byrd. Tonight's presentation at the request of Councilpersons Coonrod and Gilbert will be deferred to the end of the meeting under other business. Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions? Councilwoman Byrd.
This is just a light request, which is a light request. I know we're trying to save money, but could we turn the lights up?
Okay. Could someone cut the lights up, please? Oh, wow. Okay. Sure. Okay, now we'll start with ordinances on final reading. 5A, please, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to rezone part of property located at 400 Birmingham Highway, more particularly described herein from M1 Manufacturing Zone to M2 Light Industrial Zone.
Vice Chairman Henderson, I see your lights.
Move approval.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. B, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2705 East 44th Street, more particularly described herein from R2 Residential Zone to UGC Urban General Commercial Zone, subject to certain conditions.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Chairman. This is in your district. If you're all right with the conditions as listed, I'll move to approve.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes nay. Thank you, gentlemen. C, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2103 and 2107 Vance Avenue, more particularly described herein from RTZ Residential Townhouse 0 Lot Line Zone to R3 Residential Zone, subject to certain conditions.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Chairman. I don't see our District 9 representative, and I don't believe anything was undiscovered or has changed in the past week, so I'll move for approval.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded by Councilman Smith. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. D, please.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, Article 5, zoning regulations, Division 8, residential zone, Section 38-114, height and area regulations.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Chairman. Our last planning item tonight, I will move for approval.
It's been moved and properly seconded by Councilman Smith. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. Now we move on to ordinances on first reading. 6A, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 35, Article 2, Division 1, relative to the passenger vehicle for hire board.
What's your pleasure, council? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. D, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning a sanitary sewer easement in the 200 block of West 16th Street on property located at 1514 Coward Street, as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions.
Go ahead. Councilman Henderson.
Mr. Chair, this is in your district with no, with your approval, I'd move for approval.
I do approve. It's been motioned and properly seconded by Councilman Gilbert. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. Now we'll move on to resolutions. Madam Clerk, 7A, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00030 for property located at 416 Ziegler Street.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition?
Dallas, go ahead and.
Go through
Yeah, let me.
Okay. Let me bring. As stated earlier, it's 416 Ziegler Street, case 19 STVR 30. If you notice here is a site map of the surrounding short-term vacation rentals, and they're color-coded. The purple are the issued, non-owner occupied. I don't see a. Green are issued, owner occupied, short-term vacation rental. Red is submitted, and it has opposition, but it's waiting on a hearing. And the blue is the property in question tonight. Here's a Google Earth map. So, here's a view of the structure. You can see a directional map to the left. Another view down the parking lot that it fronts on, back up the parking lot in a southerly direction. And here's the application history. Everything has been done in the proper timeline. And this is a new structure, so we didn't have to do any inspection. It was CO'd in 2018, and everything was fine.
Would you go back to the, where it has the location of all the owner occupied, non-owner occupied? That
Yes,
one.
sir.
Tell me again, I didn't understand what you said. There's a blue one and a red one.
Okay. The blue one is the location of the property. That is 416 Ziegler. That is the address. The red has been applied for, but it's waiting on a hearing because there was opposition. So we've just got to get that one on the schedule. But it's not being heard tonight.
Okay, I don't understand. So the blue one has some opposition as well, correct?
Yes, sir. If it's non-owner occupied and it comes to the council, that means we received opposition letters. And I believe
Well, I'm trying to
Caleb.
understand why both of them's not red. They both have opposition, correct?
Well, blue is on the hearing tonight. Red is in the future.
Okay.
That's how I'm distinguishing, that's how we're distinguishing between the two. So
They
you
both
have,
have opposition.
yes, sir, or they
The
wouldn't
blue
be.
is tonight, the red
Blue
is
is
in
tonight,
the
and red
future.
will be in the future whenever
Okay, all right.
the
We'll hear from the applicant.
city attorney's office gets it on.
Okay, applicant, would you please come forward? Mr. City Attorney, would you please read the stipulations for speaking?
All right, sir. Anyone that is in support will have an opportunity to have 5 minutes total to be able to submit your recommendation here for the body. And anyone that is in opposition will have a total of 5 minutes as well.
Okay. Thank you for talking with us. My wife and Caitlin and I purchased the property here in Chattanooga. We visit quite often. We do live in Atlanta. We were unable to figure out a way to negotiate the commute, but it is the only property that we own. We're renting there. Fell in love with the city for coming here 4 years or so. And so when we were looking for a place, we looked for quite some time before we could find a community that authorized short-term rentals. And when we did, we made a decision, and actually, although he was going to meet us, he was hung up. We did find that the real estate agent we work with was able to let us know of an opportunity where there's a need for people buying houses in Chattanooga to have some short-term opportunities where they might be able to live while they're waiting for their house to close, and so it seemed like a good opportunity for us then, because we can't be here all the time, but then to have another use for the property when we're not there. Now, I know one of the opposition's concern was pets, and we're not allowing that. Parking, we've been up several times to evaluate the parking, and it seems like there's always 6 or 7 open spots. And so, we're willing to be as accommodating as we can to the community, of course, about that. And
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the biggest thing here is, one, obviously we do want to use this for short-term vacation rental because we want to come here. We love being here and we want to have the opportunity to really use the property and be part of the community. But as Jason said, in terms of what we can do to help support the community and help people who are, moving out of one house to another, we really want to be able to be flexible in that way too. So that's going to be, important to us on both fronts. So.
Are both of these properties that we've mentioned, do you own another property that you're looking to do short-term?
no,
No.
just this one.
Okay. And is there any restrictions in the deed for these townhomes for
No,
having?
and I spoke to the owner, especially leading up to this, because we were, in our conversations with the builder, they encouraged rentals. Most of the units there are either like long-term rental, or they told us when we were looking to purchase that short-term rentals were encouraged. So part of the reason why we made that decision was that the covenant encouraged, or at least the builder told us that was welcome when we were making the decision.
So, two concerns I have. One, or that was in the objection letter, is the noise that sometimes may generate from short-term renters. Do you have any kind of noise monitors in the house? I guess, so that you would be aware. It concerns me a little bit that you're out of town.
That's a great question. We don't have noise monitors, although if that was something that would be desirable for the application, we're happy to do that and to comply with any kind of, statutes around short-term rentals to make sure that everyone else in the community is comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And the other thought was, we were hoping to have, our partner, well, not partner, but, if we're able to work with Berkshire Hathaway, with people staying for more like weeks or maybe months at a time, that we're not looking at the same type of, I think, maybe concern that you'd have with just sort of people in and out and partying, although I know with short-term rentals, there's.
The other thing would be the parking issue. Would you,
We're limiting to one parking place
Yeah.
for anyone using it.
okay, so I would like to place that as a condition
Absolutely.
on this then. Okay, thank you. Dallas, could you come back up? Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'd like to put a couple of conditions on this approval. One, that noise monitors be installed, and that parking be limited to one car. So,
Oh, okay, I can,
do what?
I can make those notes.
Mr. Attorney, do I need to make that in the form of an amendment or motion? How?
Be an
to-
amendment to approve, if that's what you want to do with those
Okay, so I'm gonna
conditions.
make a motion to approve. Now I wanna make a motion to amend based on, installation of noise monitors and limited to one parking place, one parking space, I guess. And that's in form of motion. All right, now I move approval as amended.
All in
Oh,
fa-
wait, we didn't.
Oh.
We didn't vote on the amendment, I'm sorry.
No. Okay,
So we have a motion second for the amendment.
okay, we have a motion to amend. Is there a second? Oh, it's been seconded by Councilman Smith. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Poses nay.
Now,
Motion
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move approval as amended.
Okay, it's been moved and once again seconded by Councilman Smith. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Poses nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, 7B, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00033 for property located at 1905 Ivy Street.
Is the applicant here? Is there any opposition? Okay. Can we get a presentation, please?
Yes,
Just
sir.
one second. We're gonna hear the presentation, then, okay, go there with the crew. All right, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilman Byrd?
Due to the circumstances with this one and speaking with the neighborhood association, they assured me that they are against this short-term vacation rental and pretty much do not even want to be a part of the overlay. So in this point, I would ask, ma'am, you would have to talk to the neighborhood association presidents and people and set up an appointment with them, and maybe we can revisit. So outside of that, speaking for the people, I would have to deny this one. Move to deny.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to deny. It's been properly seconded by Councilman Gilbert. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Poses nay. Motion carries. C, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00035 for property located at 1908 Vine Street.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition?
Once
Okay, right behind Dallas.
again.
Okay.
Chair.
Would you like a presentation, Councilman?
I really, at this point, it's just, we're gonna have to, the applicant, ma'am, with the neighborhood with this community, you're gonna have to set up a meeting with them. The understanding that we have is that anything that comes up is that they will appreciate or appropriate for me to just say no to. And this is something that I'm representing for this community. So you would have to set up something with them, and I'll be more than happy to revisit it at another day. But at this time, I also have to move to deny.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Can I get a second? It's been seconded by Councilman Gilbert. Questions? All in favor? Sign of aye.
Aye.
Poses nay. Motion carries. D, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00044 for property located at 1793 East 12th Street.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition? Councilman Byrd?
Yes, I think we was at the neighborhood association with this one. Definitely, I never got any response from the president of the neighborhood association. I know when we was in that room, it was a mixed feeling there when we had that conversation. So I would like to defer this for a week so that me, you, and the neighborhood association, so I can get some understanding, because no one ever reached out to me again. I think I had one person that denied it, asked me to deny, but it was supposed to be a conversation between you and the neighborhood association president so we can work it out, because the room was totally divided that day. So if we can, Chair, I would like to move to defer for 1 week.
Okay, so that means your deferral will begin heard on May the 28th, which
Yes,
is a
sir.
week from today.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
After that? So with 2 weeks, can I?
Okay,
Thank
so,
you.
so if that's the case, that would be June the 4th.
June the 4th?
Yes.
Okay.
So your motion is to defer to June?
So move to defer to June the 4th.
Okay. And it's been properly seconded.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion deferred till the June the 4th. E, please, Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing the Chief Information Officer, CIO, to extend the existing blanket agreement, PO number 537480, with AST Corporation for an additional 6 months, beginning May 28, 2019 through November 27, 2019, continuing with the current rate of $42,418.27 per month, yielding a total calculated extension cost of $254,509.62.
Council, what is your pleasure? It's been moved by Councilman Ledford, seconded by Councilman Smith. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. F, please.
A resolution authorizing the street name change from the 3,000 to 8599 blocks of Hickory Valley Road to the 3,08599 blocks of Claude Ramsey Parkway in memory of former Hamilton County Mayor Claude T. Ramsey.
It's not on here. We have Councilwoman Byrd, followed by Councilman Ledford. Okay, it's been moved by Councilwoman Byrd, seconded by Councilman Ledford. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. G, please.
A resolution amending resolution number 28683 to enter into a contract with Orange Grove Center, Inc. to share revenues for managing and marketing materials and to operate refuse and recycling convenience centers for fiscal years 2017 through 2020, effective July 8, 2016, for a total amount not to exceed $2,664,661.81, and to authorize a contract with Orange Grove Centers, Inc. to receive revenues from managing and marketing recyclable materials and to operate refuse and recycle convenience centers for fiscal years 2019 through 2024, effective May 1, 2019, for a total amount not to exceed $3,501,464.63.
Council, what's your pleasure? Okay, it's been moved by Councilwoman Coonrod, seconded by Councilman Byrd. Questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. H, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to enter into a joint funding agreement, JFA, with the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, to operate 7 continuous real-time stream gauges located on North Chickamauga Creek, South Chickamauga Creek, Chattanooga Creek, and 4 new locations to be determined by USGS and City of Chattanooga personnel for a gauge operation period beginning April 1, 2019 through March 31, 2020, with a contribution of $10,875 from USGS and $93,925 from the City of Chattanooga, for a total cost of $104,800.
We have Councilman Gilbert, followed by Councilwoman Byrd.
Move to approve.
It's been moved and properly seconded by Councilwoman Byrd. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. I, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to enter into year 3 of a possible 5-year agreement with Material Matters, Inc. for professional services related to the biosolids data management system and all services listed therein, for an amount not to exceed $55,750.
Council, what's your pleasure?
Move approval.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. J, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to renew contract number S16011, on-call landscape architect design services for year 3 of 3 with ASA Engineering and Consulting, Inc., 2 Barge Design Solutions, 3 Stantec, and 4 WM Whitaker and Associates for 1-year blanket contracts with 4 professional firms for use by all departments for an estimated total annual amount of $500,000.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Chairman. Move to approve.
It's been moved and properly seconded by Councilman Smith. Questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes nay. Motion carries. K, please, Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Transportation to enter into a construction agreement with Norfolk Southern Railway Company for the St. Elmo Avenue sidewalk modifications under Norfolk Southern relative to contract number T14021-201 for an amount not to exceed $35,000.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Chairman. With your approval, move to approve.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes nay. Motion carries. Tonight, there is no purchases, so we'll move on to other businesses. We'll start first with our city attorney. Would you-
Yes, sir. Next week, you will have a motion, I guess, an ordinance that will come before you on first reading regarding a business improvement district. Wanted to make sure that that notice was put out here at this time. That is required pursuant to Tennessee statute 784-511. Whenever the clerk of the council gets a petition that is signed by not less than a majority of all of the owners of real property in a district, having an assessed value of not less than 2/3 of the value of all the real property that would be included in the district. That statute under 784-511 was provided to the city council here previously. There is a specific requirement under state law that there has to be a hearing that occurs on that within a 45-day maximum time period. And as a result of the requirements of the state law, there is a requirement that there has to be notice published in the paper at least 3 times prior to that meeting occurring. The statute also is a little bit different than your normal procedure because under 784-515, there is a requirement that any meeting that occurs hearing an ordinance like that has to have a first reading before the, I guess, the publicized second reading, which is the public hearing. The public hearing is scheduled for June the 4th in connection with the requirements here, and that's in accordance with Tennessee Code 784-515. And it says that in all municipalities requiring 2 or more readings before the passage of an ordinance, all readings shall have been held prior to the public hearing except the final reading, so that the adoption may take place at the conclusion of the hearing. So we're doing that in accordance with Tennessee law.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Now, at this time, we will have special recognition. I'm sorry, Councilwoman Burrs.
So, do we have to have the second reading the same night as the public hearing?
You'll have to have 2 readings before the passage of the ordinance, and that was the reason for it coming up on first reading on the 28th, and then second reading on June the 4th. And the ordinance would take effect at the conclusion of the second hearing if it's approved by this body. Like any other ordinance, it requires 2 readings
Got
and 2
that.
approvals.
So, it's different than the way we usually do things. We
Yes, ma'am.
usually have a public hearing before we do any voting.
Yes, ma'am.
But according to state law, we have to have 1 vote and then a public hearing.
Yes.
I'm unclear that the second vote has to be that same night.
It says in the statute that if you have 2 or more readings before the passage of an ordinance, all readings shall have been held prior to the public hearing except the final reading, so that adoption can take place at the conclusion of that hearing. So it's requiring you to do it on the 4th to be the final reading.
The same night as we've had the public hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I hear you, and I would not
I'm just trying to. read
argue
you what
with
it
your
is.
attorney, but I'm wondering if legally it can't wait. The second reading can't wait. I hear the so that the second reading can occur. Does that mean it has to happen that evening?
That's the way the statute reads in that regard. It's supposed to give an opportunity for anyone to appear at the public hearing and to make a protest about inclusion of their property within that district that evening. And if they determine that, then that, obviously, the ordinance would have to be amended at that time as to the boundaries. And I don't know, it doesn't say about what happens if you have an amendment, whether you have to have another reading. But that's what we would normally look at in our proceedings.
So we could be free to put off the second reading to at least the following week?
I would argue that, yes, if you had an amendment in the boundaries.
That's the way I read the law, too. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Chairman. Phil,
Yes, sir.
the first reading, does it just have to be read?
Just has to be read.
That clarified. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, if there is no other question on this matter, now we'll move on to special recognitions from Councilman Gilbert and Councilwoman Coonrod.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank
So
you.
tonight, we're just wanting to recognize some exceptionally great athletes that come out of Chattanooga and who also participated in our rec center. So YFD, we're in the business of empowering our youth to go on to do bigger and greater things. So if you all could join me here, Amaya Rivers, Kayla Hunt, Lauren Dean, Jemiah Parker, Sanaya Douglas, Kiara Suttles, Officer Tillery in place of JoJo Tillery, Ryan Howard, and Madison. And if, Greta, if you and your husband would like to come up, that's fine. So here we're just gonna read a couple of highlights about them here, so you all will be in the know about it. So last year, the RBI Breakthrough Series, they played in Amaya Rivers, Kayla Hunt, Lauren Dean, and then this year in the RBI Breakthrough Series, Jemiah Parker, Sanaya Douglas. Now, Kiara Suttles, she was an RBI player. She also went on to college to play ball at Southern University, and now she works for the RBI institution in New Orleans. JoJo Tillery, after graduating this weekend from Wofford University, he was off to Nashville to play with the Tennessee Titans. He got drafted as a free agent. Ryan Howard, oh man, she's got like a impressive list here, and I'm sure you all been watching her play with Kentucky. Of course, she was at the rec centers, and in 2018, Ryan received the following awards: Miss Basketball for Tennessee, Gatorade Player of the Year. She played in Jordan Brandon Classic Game, MVP across the borders global games in Canada, MVP in USA, U18 FIBA America's National Championship, Mexico City. Now she's a freshman at University of Kentucky. MVP Paradise Jam Tournament, St. Thomas. She set the record for SEC Freshman of the Week honors, SEC Freshman of the Year, All SEC First Team, All Freshman Team, Unanimous National Freshman of the Year, ESPNW, USWBA, WBCA, All American, Honorable Mention, National All Region Team. She led team in scoring 16 points and rebounding 7 rebounds. She's selected to U19 USA World Cup team and will participate in Bangkok, Thailand. And then Madison, she's a rising senior at East Hamilton, Miss Basketball Tennessee, USA Today Player of the Year, Tennessee USA 3x3 gold medalist, and she will leave on this Sunday to compete in Magnolia representing USA in the World Cup. So if you all would join us in giving them a round of applause.
want to thank Councilwoman Coonrod to give me the opportunity to be a part of this. A lot of these young people, I've been knowing since they were 5 and 6 years old, and they're grown up to be ladies. And some of the things that she read out, just some of the tip of the things they're doing. They are very talented. The Youth and Family Development of our city has done a great job, but they also have to recognize the parents. It's sacrifice for parents to do what they do for the kids. And I want to recognize them also and give them a hand because it takes a lot for these parents. And not only the parents, I think we got a coach up here to recognize too, because most of these coaches volunteer. They don't get paid for none of this. They take their time, and some of them don't even have kids that actually play. They just think enough of these young people to make them successful. And I want to give that person and others also a clap too. Give me a clap. So again, I want to thank you for doing a good job in sports, but not only in sports, but you're very intelligent young ladies and men, and I appreciate everything you do. And I think Coolrod got something going next.
Kiara Madison and wanted to come say something, a few words.
Well, I had prepared something on my phone, but it was mainly the accomplishments that she already said. But knowing I started out as 4 years old playing softball for the Lakeside Lady Panthers. I'm not really sure they're a thing now, but I started softball at 4 years old. And basically, without RBI, I wouldn't be where I am, and some of these girls wouldn't be where they are. Softball wasn't really common, so for us to start up a league and then us growing older and helping these younger girls really set the boundary and the foundation for the department now. I'm older than all of them now, but when I was younger, I coached, I helped them, and I also recruited them when I was in the RBI program. I started out when I was 16, volunteering before they actually came up with the program for the kids to get paid during the summer. My group was the first group for that experimental stage with RBI. So from that going on to now, I'm happy that everybody is here now. I'm happy for all of the girls that have been included in everything and their accomplishments. But thank you.
Thank you so much. Madison, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to thank everybody for coming tonight. I wouldn't be who I am today without Youth and Family Development and, of course, everybody that coached me in the YFD centers. I played with Kiara in 2 years in a row, and she's helped me a lot becoming a leader and stuff on and off the court, and, you know, I know. Oh, field, sorry, but the softball field. And a lot of people in the centers helped me out too, just fitting in with other people and learning different things, not just sports, but educational stuff, academic-wise, and that just helped me become a better person, so thank you.
Thank you again so much, you all, for coming out. Thank you, Greta, and everybody, the parents. Thank you so much. So get ready for Miss Payton. That's my 3-year-old, so y'all can get her prepared to be on this journey as well. We have some proclamations for you. Let me read that one. Each one will receive, and it just says, the City of Chattanooga Office of the Mayor Proclamation in appreciation for outstanding contributions to the City of Chattanooga. The title of Distinguished Citizen is being formally bestowed upon, and each one of you, your name is here, for amazing achievements in both athletics and academics, as well as for serving as a role model for all student athletes who come after. Presented in Chattanooga, Tennessee, May 21st, and Russell and I signed it along with the mayor. Thank you. Kayla. Which one's Kayla? Yeah. Ryan. Amaya. Madison. Sanaya. Lauren. Thank you. Jemiah. Thank you. And Officer Tillery, if you could come get JoJo's. Thank you all again, and if you could please give them a round of applause.
I'd like to take a few minutes to recognize my colleague Demetrius Coonrod, who graduated from Leadership Chattanooga this past Thursday. So congratulations. Is there any other business this council would like to share? Now we'll move on to committee reports. Councilwoman Burrs.
We began our budget process today, and we began educating ourselves on the fiscal year 2020 budget. We will be meeting at 10 o'clock every day, every Tuesday for the next how many weeks? Anyway, educating ourselves. These are open meetings. Everybody's welcome. Today, we ended up going till 3 o'clock and got a lot of work done. Normally, it'll be 10 to 1:30. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for the great work you're doing with this. Councilman Byrd.
No report.
Okay. Vice Chairman Henderson.
No report.
Councilman Ledford. Councilman Smith.
No report.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this time is recognition on person wishing to address the council on non-agenda matters. Mr. Attorney, would you please read the rules?
Sure. The council has adopted these rules. At the end of every council meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public that wish to address the council. You have to come up to the microphone to be able to do that. No person can have more than 3 minutes to speak, and the speaker can only address the council about matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority. Don't use any vulgar, obscene language or use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address your comments to the council as a body as a whole. Beyond all that, come on up. You can't be recognized more than twice in a 30-day time period, but that's the only other rule.
Is there anybody who would like to address the council tonight on non-agenda items? Okay. We are adjourned.
Okay.